Good evening.
Good evening. Hello, everyone. If you could all pop on your cameras real quick and just verify your human status, that would be awesome. And I guess we'll wait for some other people to join too. Um, Gary, what do you think about yes, thank you
Hello.
so much. Thank you.
I'm
I
sorry, can you hear me?
yes,
Okay,
thank
yes, I was just wanting to
I
let
have
you guys
been
know that I
hacked.
was here.
What's that?
I was just wanting to let you guys know that I was here. I just had to run to the bathroom real quick.
Oh, you're totally fine. You're here. Thank you. I've been hacked and then like tried to have my meeting hijacked and the person refused to come on camera. So it's been like a dramatic thing, but I have to verify people are real.
Okay, of course. Yes, I'm just gonna run to the bathroom.
Yeah, no, you're good. I was just talking to Gary. Gary's one of my regulars as we wait for other people to join. We've been talking about June's topic. Um, and I'm thinking about titling it setback to set up, you
I
know?
like that.
Yeah,
Yep, I like that.
cool. It's on then. It's on. And I think the meeting link worked just fine. I checked that out for tonight. Um, anyway, we'll give it a few more minutes. Um, we've been talking about visibility. Here's me. Um, my internet should be working just fine, so. Hi, Nate.
What's up?
Nate, I loved your AI sketch thing. That was cool. It's fun.
Yeah, I got it from somebody in my network. Name's Kalina Powell. I was
Yeah.
like, this is a good idea.
Yeah, no, it was cool. It was kind of interesting to see what AI came up with.
Yeah,
You know,
it was definitely cool because it's like, what does AI really know? Like, can AI describe me to a person and actually be accurate?
in some ways it was eerily accurate, and in other ways it missed the mark a little bit, but that's all good.
Did you do this, Gary, too?
I did. I posted it on the off topic.
It's all time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got a chance to look at those. Those were actually kind of fire.
it was kind of fun.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
cool.
It looked dope. The legend,
Yeah.
it got the jacket on point, Nate.
Yep.
Yep.
Got to. Yo, I did another one because you remember, I don't know if y'all hopped on this trend. It was like a doll, make an AI version of you, like
Yeah,
like a
I see that.
doll version of you.
Barbie.
Yeah, it was like a Barbie, and then it was like toys, action figures, whatever it was.
Mhm.
So I made one for Legend way back when, because it was like I made one for myself. I was like, I wonder what would Legend look like if we had a mascot, right? So I described the mascot. I'm like, I want it to look cool, this or that. I used that same sketch and said, do one for like the sketchbook, do one for Legend Initiative, but use this Legend doll that I made. I think it was like last year the trend was on. And I just
Mhm.
wanted to see what it looked. It was pretty dope too. I, Let me see if I.
I love that. I'm totally gonna do that. Also,
Yeah, for sure. Put that in the
Kenny,
chat
why
if
do
you
you
can
look
find it.
different?
Oh, I'm wearing a shirt and
You're wearing a shirt, right?
yeah.
That's probably it.
And I'm at my brother's house. I also shaved. So,
Yeah, it's your
Kenny look
yeah.
like
face.
Mr. Suave.
Hmm.
Thank
Yeah,
you, thank you. I got a little flow going on, a little flow.
It's
I think
good.
your hair's longer too.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to rock the afro I used to.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Okay,
Uh,
So for those of you who
let's
aren't
get it
regulars on
going.
here, the sketch thing that we're talking about, this group has a Discord channel, and we kind of chat offline, and there's kind of some fun stuff on there.
We do, and you should all join.
I didn't even know there was other people in the chat. Wow, we're
They're
new.
here. I just let everybody in. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, we just been yapping.
Yeah.
If you could all just pop on your cameras real quick and say I'm real, that would be cool.
Kenny,
Real.
again, I'll just put it in the chat. Again, the legend version of it.
Yeah, I want to see the mascot. Okay.
I'm real live and in Memorex, as they used
I
to say
love
back
it.
in the
Thank
80s.
you.
Hello, I'm real.
I love it. Thank you guys.
I'm real too, I promise.
You're real. We're all real. Okay.
We all feel a little like J-Lo, right? Ja Rule.
I can't hear you.
Okay,
You're
hold
like
on.
you sound like you're a little far away.
Oh, here I am. Let me turn up the volume.
I'm turning mine up too.
Okay.
Okay, a little better. Um, well, let's get it started. So usually I just have everybody go around, introduce themselves, so who you are, where you're from, and what you do, and then we'll get into a discussion. And in the meantime, I will keep letting people in if they're knocking. Gary, do you want to kick us off?
Yep, I will kick us off.
Yeah.
So Gary Darley, I am in Washington State, and I'm a financial coach. I help people with kind of a vague plan and loose collection of savings accounts, put those accounts to work in a tiered investment system. And the goal is to keep money in your now bucket while growing your tomorrow bucket, so that you're not forced into bad decisions at the wrong time, but we can strategically make good decisions at the right time. And from a networking perspective, I'm looking for HR type people that I can connect with.
I love that. We should add that. Let's add that to the question. What are you looking for? Is that a good way to put that?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Who's next?
Oh, I can go next here. So good evening, everybody. My name is Kenny Rodriguez, and my company is Atlas Studios. So my specialty is putting your superpower in the limelight, right? So my company does that by branding, marketing, and development solutions, right? So we work with growth-minded entrepreneurs to either improve, expand, or build something entirely new that complements their business, right? Either practically, digitally, fundamentally, you name it, right? So if you can imagine it, we'll do the rest.
I like that pitch. It's clearer.
All right, guys. Who's next? Eduardo. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah, I'm happy to go. Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Eduardo, although I go by Eddie. I'm from Spain, but I've been in the US for 15 years. And I am the founder of No Lenders, which is a peer-to-peer company that we are bringing the structure to these loans, and we're trying to help individuals build credit while doing so, right? Bringing that structure to this now very uncomfortable conversations about, hey, can I take a little bit of money from your pocket, and put it into a contract and then building that way. And for what I'm looking for, and in this call, I'm just looking to meet other founders and other people to connect, nothing on that end. But if anyone has connections within the credit bureaus, I would really, really appreciate it. But I know that's not a very normal thing to do. And then something that I have to offer for anyone that might be interested. I'm also currently assisting offshore development company. They have high-end software engineers at a pretty reasonable price. I don't know if that's something that is interesting, but it's something that I'm also getting involved.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
definitely want to connect with you, especially about the peer-to-peer lending. I love
Awesome.
that model.
Yeah.
Um, Drop your links in the chat also. Who would like to go next? I'll call Ariana. Am I saying that wrong?
No, you said it correctly. Yes, my name is Ariana. I'm 24 years old. I am from Nevada. I recently moved a few days ago from the East Coast by myself, in search of new opportunities. I do have a passion in writing, but what I currently do is I'm a tech advisor. But my passion is in writing, and the business startup that I was looking to do and trying to pursue is poetry cards. So, what a poetry card is, like, for example, if you wanted a Mother's Day card, I would personally write a poem based on who you are and what you tell me that, your spouse or your family member is, and then I'll write, like, and create that poetry card for you. So, it's not just Mother's Day, but I just use that as an example. So I'm definitely in search of connecting with the right people to, start this business up. So yeah.
Awesome. Welcome. Where on the East Coast did you move from?
DC, Maryland.
Nice. Very brave of you to go and do something like that by yourself. I love
Yeah.
that. Welcome. All right. Will the two of you just pop on your cameras? Actually, it's just one right. Oh, yes. Okay, there you are. Okay, you've already been on the camera. Never mind. Sorry. Who would like to go next?
I can go ahead and go.
Sure.
Okay, so hi everybody. My name is Raylan Booker. I'm located in Red Oak, Texas, and I do have a bookkeeping company, and I specialize in helping small businesses get their books together and like cleanups and just getting their books organized so they can expand. Oh,
Awesome.
and my goal is to get connections so I can maybe get new clients.
Awesome. Welcome. Akia
Aquila.
Aquila. Thank
Yeah, I'll
you.
go next. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah,
Sorry about that. If I drop off again, it's just my internet.
you're okay.
So I am in California. I am currently located in Menlo Park, California, and I am a life coach. And what I do differently is what I call the path of least resistance. Alignment.work. I am the founder and coach, and it really is about alignment, working inside out. So, whatever it is that you're trying to work through, move through, accomplish, um, there's no outside of yourself that can manage that more powerfully than you can when you work from the inside out. And so all of our conversations are about who you are, not just what you want to do, and making sure that that's aligned so that you can become more fully who you are.
I love that. All right, guys, make sure you drop your links in the chat so you can connect directly. I'm Abigail, your host. Nate mentioned I created a Business Kickstart Accelerator. It's for new and aspiring entrepreneurs. Um, really building a community in there, and there's financial foundations, incubation resources, expert speakers. I bring a little yoga and meditation in to keep you grounded and keep your body, your blood flowing. Also a full charge accountant, host of this and hosting an online retreat in September. Um, based out of Maine, always forget to say that. Um, and I've never really openly, I guess, said what I'm looking for and connections in this group, and I feel really like put on the spot, Gary. Um, I guess any, entry entrepreneurs would be great that need support in their journey. Um, is really what I'm looking for right now. And I always love to talk one-on-one clients as well. But I'm really building the accelerator program right now. Um, this networking group is a little bit different. We do a discussion topic each month, and we've been talking visibility in May. And we do have a Discord chat where we connect more deeply, but we t share topics as well, which is where I'm going to read tonight's question from we had a great talk last week, and after we got off the call, something that came up, which is what I want to talk more about, is how it's so much easier to have somebody else sell you for you rather than selling yourself. So I wanted to talk about like how it feels allowing somebody else to manage your visibility and how that allows it to grow exponentially. And I'll drop that in the chat as along with my links.
So do you mean like by referral, like happy clients
Anything. I mean,
talking you
whatever way
up,
that
or an
that
actual
resonates.
representative of you?
So if, referrals is a great starting point for that conversation, for sure. I mean, if someone is referring you a client, I don't know about the rest of you, but if I get referred a client, it's the deal is pretty much closed before the first discovery call even happens because you know, somebody else sold you for you. You don't really have to do the work. But for me, having somebody tell me like it's okay to post that on social media and like not necessarily have accountability personally for what's going out. Like, here's some videos, here's the way I talk, here's what I would say, and having someone say, you should definitely post that and show up that way is so much. I mean, a few weeks ago, I was telling a story about a client. I caught $100,000 in theft, and I told the story, and Nate was like, "You got to post that on your social media." And I got like 60,000 views on that post. That's my biggest post ever, view wise. So like just outsourcing sort of the the responsibility, the accountability, the you lose your ego when you're not behind it, I guess, is the direction I'm headed in that.
Mm.
Nate.
I'll say just from I'll say from like just let's say a coach's perspective, right? Like let's say I'm coaching little league football. You bear like coaches bear the front of it, right? Kids just go out there and play, and then if something bad happens, it's the coach's fault, right? I think the same thing applies to business. Like if I hire somebody to do my marketing, they're essentially handling all the responsibility, all the accountability. So if I post something and I don't like it, but they force me to post it, I can always just say, well, they told me to do this, right? It just takes that responsibility off your shoulders, which makes everything easier.
Exactly. Kenny.
So I can kind of speak to being on the other side of that, right? Like when I've had a client who trusts me with their visibility. Um, I know Nate wasn't here last week, but I showed a really good example of what that looks like, right? So there was this, well, he's now an influencer on Instagram. He's like a personal chef. But when he started, he was extremely camera shy, right? He didn't want to be anywhere near a camera, just wanted to post pictures of food, right? And thought that would be the extent of his content, you know? So by the time he reached out to us, he had already been thinking a little bit like, how can I present myself publicly without, you know, pivoting or straying away from my roots as a chef, you know? And, we came up with a content template for him, that included talking about his personality, right? Sharing about some of his courses with, um, personal chefs across the world, internationally, things like that, right? And presenting that to the public in digestible bites, right? So maybe you could start with a draft that was like 15 seconds long, right? Hey guys, my name is Jose. I'm a chef. Here's what I do, right? And then skip to or edit like a clip in of a finished product of a plate that he made, you know? And it just presents him instantly as like more human. You know what I mean? Because I'm not a chef, but I do like to eat. You know what I mean? So just seeing the person behind the plate or the person who's actually creating the food, like I think that was the most important part to nail down, right? In terms of establishing that image. And the fact that he trusted me with that, showed me enough of his personality to allow me to craft that for him. Um, I think it really is a testament to where he is today, you know. And yeah, just for those of you who might not be familiar, I'll leave a link to his account in the chat.
Gary.
So the example Kenny's talking about is pretty cool too. He does some pretty cool stuff. I checked it out after he put it out last week. Um, so for me, this comes back to the who, not how question. Because for me, if you want a solid financial plan, whether that's just starting out and we're just getting you figured out, pay down debt, student loans, and get their ball rolling, or you've got $10 million in investable assets and we want to turn that into 15 or 20, that part's easy for me. That's what I can do. That's what I do well. Figuring out how to be appropriately visible so that I can be in front of people and present that message in a way that is appealing to potential clients, that's hard to me. Like I have no idea what I'm doing. Um, and I've taken great tips away from this group and some other groups. And I just started working with a marketing coach a couple weeks ago, and she did like this audit of what I'm doing. And she said, you know what? You got some good beginnings, but it's all disconnected and disjointed, and this is how we're going to fix it. I can't see that. I need somebody to help me see that. And so having somebody else take some responsibility for that is utilizing somebody else's skill set that I don't have, nor do I have the time nor desire to build.
I feel that, Gary.
I do have a question for you, Gary. Is this something that you're doing on your own? And sorry, I know there's a lot of people with their hands up. I didn't mean to skip the line or anything.
No, you're good.
I work with a group called the Legis Financial Partners, and there's a team of us that work together.
Okay, I see. I was
Yeah.
gonna say something that has to stop me for a very long time is doing this on my own, and I got a co-founder, and it's a much smoother sailing, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it's much easier to work with a group of people than it is to be completely solo.
Nate.
I'm probably going to use Abigail as an example. I feel like it's not like a question of do I know what I'm doing. It's more so like Abigail, when she brought that topic, like she knows that she needs to post it. She knows that she needs to, like, it's just like a mental block. So sometimes you gotta yell at Abigail. Abigail's hard headed, but like she's even more hard headed with herself. So I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs, like to your point, Kenny, like they have an idea of what they need to do in order to communicate. Like even my clients, like they have an idea. Like we have to do this, this, and this, and this, which you already know, but it's just that confidence. I think part of Kenny, you can speak to this. Part of our job is to make sure that you're confident enough to do this and not worried about the black backlash, worry about the outcomes, just do it. And then we can worry about the rest after. I feel like Abigail, sorry, I'm using Abigail, but I don't care. Abigail knew that she should post it, but she was worried about, what do I sound like? All this, like all these different outcomes that really don't matter. But eventually, when she got the confidence after we kicked her ass, she put it out and then it got 60K views, right? So a lot of entrepreneurs is just that confidence factor. And when you have somebody that you're outsourcing, they kind of instill that confidence in you, right? If you're working with an agency, they instill that confidence in you. Working with a team, they instill that confidence in you. So where it's just like, why not do it? Instead of, should I do this? It becomes, why not do it?
Nailed it. Nailed it. Nailed it. Pretty much nailed it. I was going to say, the videoing myself, like I dread it. I hate it. I hate the sound of my voice, all the things. But having somebody else, I mean, I don't have somebody else posting my content for me, but I've got a panel of people who are like, why not? Also, it, it's really the why not. It ends with the why not. It really does. I just posted, and once you figure out what people like to see from you, because it's different for everybody, then you know what to post after that. So like, um, I posted a couple weeks ago, I think we talked about it in this group. I lost a client because I was, for lack of better words, and I'm just feeling this term right now, a mouthpiece to the CPA. They were not treating my client right, and I wasn't allowing them to be condescending and disrespectful towards me. And I lost the client that very day. In a it's you or us was what the CPA told the client. I'm not joking. I posted that story. We talked about it in the group. I talked about the story and I signed a client this morning because of that. And it's the same CPA that refuses to work with me. This person saw my post and they asked me this morning, was that post about this CPA firm? I want to work with you. And I was like, yes, it was. So it's, yeah, it's really bizarre how the universe works when you have integrity, you show up authentically, and people like the drama when I share it. They think it's awesome. I don't know. And it scared me to post drama at first, but I got some confidence in it. Anyway, Aquila.
So this is an area that I know nothing about, so I probably should keep it brief. I've not done it. What I want to speak to is that I recognize the value of it. It's taken me, so when I first launched as an entrepreneur coming off of 30 years in corporate high tech, I wanted nothing to do with any of that. Like, why do I have to do that? I never had to do it in my corporate role. And I understood the differences, but my mindset at the time was, I can hard launch this without all of that. I'm going to do it differently. Like somehow on the planet, I was going to be able to do it in a way that nobody else had done it. And I hung on to that for a while because while my role was very visible in corporate, I was also very much the lead, but behind the curtains. It wasn't my face you saw, it was the production that I delivered, right? And so, not being the face, having to be the face of representing myself fully in this space was very hard for me. It's taken 3 years. I got on LinkedIn 45 days ago, y'all. Okay, LinkedIn 45 days ago. I've got a Facebook page and an Instagram page that's been hidden. My point is this: I'm now at the place of understanding the value of it. I'm at the place of recognizing the importance of it. I'm also at the place of recognizing that it is a huge trust issue for me. I feel like nobody can represent me better than I can represent myself. I feel like my words, how I say it, is the way that only I can do it. But what I am completely open to is recognizing, I've said this before to clients, that every goat needs a goat and every goat has a goat, right? Michael Jordan has a goat. Kobe had a goat. Right? So you cannot do this isolated. You cannot do it alone. And I think for me, it's finding that right person, vetting that right person. And I'm one of those that when I lock into you, you can't go nowhere because it's that meaningful to me that once I know you've got this, you've got me, I turn everything over. I'm a complete trust in you. And you can't screw that up, because if you screw that up, you don't get a second chance. You breach trust, we're done. So I understand the importance of it. I'm ready for it at this point in my coaching career, but I have not yet been able to identify who that is, where to find them, how to start that, all of that stuff. So that's what I can add to the conversation. I
I have
believe that
two
it's truly real.
recommendations for you. I'll let them represent themselves. Well said, though, and I just want to say, if you find the right coach, the right mentor, like you provide to other people, they're going to take your voice, your face, your voice, your content, and they're gonna help you put it together in a way that represents you exactly the way that you want to be represented. And the wrong coach won't do that for you. So you got to take your time. You got to have faith that it's going to work itself out. And I know two great people who will definitely represent you. I could tell you, I will share a story after Gary.
So just completely understand where you're coming from. So my background is actually nursing. I was a cardiac nurse for 15 years, and I still work part-time in the hospital in the cardiac world. And going from, because you don't have to market in the hospital, patients just come to you because they're dying. Um, and it's not really like they want to come to you, but they're glad you're there. So shifting from that over to having to represent myself, get myself out there, show who I am. Um, I've had a series of coaches now. I'm working on my third coach, and each one brought me along. And it's not that one was the best of all time for everything. It's that I met them or they met me at a place where I needed to grow, and they allowed me to grow to that next step. And then I met the next one, and she helped me to grow to the next step. And now I'm working with one who is helping me grow to the next step. And Abby's right. There's several people on this call who are amazing at what you're looking to do, and there's several people not on this call who are also amazing. And I'd be happy to have an offline discussion with you about it if you're looking for something, because I think I know a couple people who might fit you well. Um,
Yeah.
but it's really been a growing. And as I've grown, I've needed to find a coach who could elevate me to, or help me elevate to the next step. And that's not just in this career. That was also in my nursing career, going from low-level nurse on up to executive management, in that world. I always had somebody that I was learning from.
So I'm not like a very mainstream person, and I have been fearful of showing up as who I really, genuinely am on social media because it doesn't fit in a box. Like I very much do not fit in a box. As an accountant, I'm covered in tattoos and piercings. I swear I live on a farm in Maine. I know it's the new world order though, is the tattooed, like, what do we call ourselves? The misfit entrepreneurs. Um, I live in Western Maine foothills, very rural. I live on a farm. I have a tractor. I chop wood. All my clients, not all my clients, but the majority of my clients are cannabis. So it's very much like, I don't know if it's palatable for everybody. I'm gonna let Elijah in. even though he's late. Elijah, you just got VIP access. We're talking about how outsourcing like your visibility gives you confidence and even not even you don't need confidence in somebody else is doing it. And I was just sharing how I was talking to Nate that day where I was like, this is what I did this very last weekend. Very last weekend, I rode side by sides with my girlfriends. We were the dirtiest rig out there with a bunch of men on dirt bikes, and we shoot guns and we laugh and we cry and we get out and we climb in the rivers and we're like, this is so pretty. Look at this rock. And I've started filming all that stuff because I will find my tribe with my lifestyle. And then I've been doing some voiceovers a little bit more every day because I am still building confidence in that. But I don't know. I don't know. Having people behind me that are like, absolutely post your crazy wild stuff, it's going to attract the right people. So far, it's been great. And just to cap that off, I've started tracking my website visits. Kenny, I gotta share that info with you, actually. So I'm learning. It's all driving traffic, like things are gonna, I still have a lot to learn. There's visibility happening. People are following me on Instagram. They're going to my website. I can track them there. And now I just got to figure out how to convert them. And like, I, one last thing, I have a lot to share. I have a lot to share with the community that I'm calling in. And I always revert back to my faith that this was put on my heart for a reason, and the right people are going to find it. So I have to be visible in order for those people to get there, though. Nate.
First off, Abigail, I'm so proud of you. Everybody clap it up for Abigail. I'm proud of you. I'm so proud.
Hide.
Damn, Abigail.
Oh,
How long I've been yelling at you? Like, what was that, 3 weeks ago?
6 months.
Ah, damn, finally. Finally.
Yeah.
Jeez. Uh, but one of the things, I'm not going to talk about myself or shout myself out, but you should definitely talk to Kenny or me if you want. But Kenny's very great at what he does. I do want to talk about how, like, understanding how you want to be visible, right? Sometimes your visibility doesn't look like everybody else's, right? And I think that you lose confidence when you're looking at other people's pages and you're like, I have to show up like this, or I have to do this, and this doesn't make sense. But everybody's telling you this, there's this one way to do it. And most of the time, everything in marketing, I'm pretty sure Kenny can say this, it depends, right? It depends on a lot of different factors, but you have to find your own way to show up. Sometimes it's not posting once every single day for 100 days. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, right? So it's all about finding your angle that you want to tackle, your narrative, and how you want to show up personally. And don't use other people's business because that's not your brand. If you're trying to build a brand like them, maybe like look at them as a competitive advantage, but for the most part, it's not your brand, and you have to understand how you show up and how you communicate yourself. And that's what's going be the deciding factor whether a client wants to work with you or not, right? Your process, your approach, the stories you tell, etc. Right? So always find how you want to show up personally.
Kenny.
That's dope. So, Nate, I appreciate you bringing up that point. Because that's a perfect segue into what I was gonna say, right? Like, for example, I use Abigail, right? Um, so when we were creating a funnel, right, for her Business Kickstart Accelerator, she has her voice, right? Abigail has the way that she speaks, right, the way that she presents herself, and revising, versions of the way she would introduce, the course, or what they could expect to get out of it, right? I had to work with Abigail, right? Because I know her, right? But I know there might be some things that she wants to change or tweak along the way just to fit within her voice, right? Her tonality, and her brand. You understand? So just after crafting that, right, and we're recording the videos, right, trial and error. Now I'll tilt the camera this way, have some nature in the background, all the director notes, right? So by the time we finished, yep,
Better.
there you go, you're wearing the sweater. So by the time we finished, we had something that was really complimentary, not only to Abigail's personality, but everything that she wanted the Business Kickstart Accelerator to represent, right? So for Aquila, I think that you're kind of in the same, phase right now, right? You're building up your brand knowledge, right? Your voice, your tonality, right? The way that you introduce it to clients, And again, to complement Nate's point, it doesn't have to be for everybody, right? Like you said, the way that you speak to your clients, right? If it's resonating with them, and if those are the kind of people that you want to bring in, right? Then in terms of marketing, is just how do you make that a little bit louder, right? How do you make that reach a little bit further so you can attract more of those kinds of people through the door, right? Whether it be through your social media, through your Instagram, any other touch point that you want to, have them or direct them to. Um, it's just a matter of honing that brand voice and making sure that it stays consistent through every single channel that you might interact with your audience on. And before you know it, your audience grows. Even if it's incrementally, you can keep track of it every day.
Elijah.
So I have some thoughts on this, and they're gonna come out in like a very aggressive manner because I just got back from my retreat that we were in Costa Rica literally a couple days ago. And you know, what I feel in my heart of hearts is that authenticity always trumps strategy when it comes to content creation. And, people like Kenny and Nate, they help you marry strategy with authenticity. Because if you can marry the two, then you are like dynamic, then like things truly take off, So I do agree with a lot of the points of like, don't copy other people's stuff, you know, um, but use it to your advantage. So like, I'll talk from my own perspective because that's the only one I really truly can speak from. Like when I started to want to create content, and you could look at my LinkedIn, like, and go like, because that's the only platform I use, by the way. I believe in starting with one platform because your voice on one platform, your pictures on one platform, the people that follow you on one platform can be drastically different than like Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and just learning the nuances of what's so different made me like overwhelmed. And honestly, paralysis is worse than anything else in business, just getting out there and trying and being consistent and kind of building momentum. I think momentum is one of the most powerful forces in the universe, so just building momentum makes a difference. And my first post, it was just like me literally waking up in the morning, reading a book, and then taking my takeaways from the book that I would want to put in a post. That was like what I did. And when I wasn't reading a book, you could tell, my posts were not as good, And then as time went on, it was like I was repurposing pictures from the past that I had, and then I ran out of pictures. And then it's like, why does he have a mask on in 2022? And it's like COVID's over. I was like, all right, I should stop probably using these pictures of when we were flying on a plane during COVID, So like little things like that start to happen. And what started to work for me, because again, you really should find what works for you. Because I personally don't consume social media. I'm not on Instagram, I'm not on TikTok. I don't actually consume social media, but I do believe in being a producer. So I do produce on social media. I just don't consume. Like I'll run Facebook ads, but I won't like use a Facebook account, right? Like I'll have someone else do it. So for me, I actually use Go High Level, and I don't personally do it. My tech does it, but I just have a social media calendar. And we just set up like 30 days of social media. And the way that I do it personally is I use AI, but I don't use AI to make my messages. I use AI to format the way that my messages will come out. So there's a person named Laura Costa, and I love the way that she formats things because she's a really good writer and she teaches people how to go scale on LinkedIn. And there's like a couple of other people that have like really good specifically to LinkedIn. I don't know how she would do on Instagram. I don't even know if she does well on those platforms. But I say to my AI, take Laura Costa's stuff and I take one of her free books that have a bunch of her formats and I just paste it into my AI, into ChatGPT. And then I say, now I want you to make a post about, and I don't like type it, I just speak it. So it's authentically me. And I was like, I want you to make a post about this stuff and this stuff and this stuff and how this affected me, but I want you to use Laura Costa's format that's like, template number 7. And then it'll create this really beautiful, templated, easy to read, catchy hook, with a nice CTA at the end. And then I just give that to my tech, and then he puts them and matches them with pictures that are a lot of times irrelevant. Sometimes they are relevant, but for me, it takes a lot of the thinking out of it. But I get to still be authentic because I'm editing it. It's still my voice. It's just structured in a way that looks good and sounds good. And when you talk about like delegating this stuff to other people, that's like my way of delegating in a low cost way because I don't have to pay my tech a ton of money like an ad agency. But I do have an ad agency that does like DMs for me on LinkedIn, and they're targeting my ideal client. So my following is going up because they're connecting with my ideal client every day, and I have appointments from that actual program and that company. I'm paying monthly to do that, but they don't have anything to do with my content. So what's happening is they're DMing people with messaging that they believe sounds like me through their AI tools and their like VAs that actually edit stuff. And then people look at my page, which is really me. So the people who schedule with me actually feel like I've done meetings with these people and they're like, hey man, it's great to meet you. I'm glad, I really liked our talk we had. I'm like, this is the first time I've ever seen this human. And to them, it doesn't feel that way, which is super cool. And my last piece, I hired my wife this past month to be my brand expert. Now, I've never been like into Instagram and all that stuff, right? But she is. She is like aggressively into it. She's like a micro influencer and has like Revolve and all these like clothing companies that give her affiliate links and all this stuff. And I don't understand it all, but she rocks just courses all the time. And I'm always like, why are you spending another $1,000 on something? Like I'm just like I make enough money. We don't need to pay for another course. And now I see why. Because when she does like my content stuff, because like when we were on the retreat, she was doing B-roll. Everything you see that's on my LinkedIn from this past week, if it looks any like good, blame her, right? Like I did a selfie video on my first video, and she was like, no more. She like got lighting set up. She like stands the camera up. And then she just has fun with me. She's like, go, just have fun. And she's like, and I'll edit it. Don't worry. So she'll cut out stuff. She'll create B-roll. She'll make it look like really professional. And that's another form of like delegation, leveraging other people's skill, even if you don't really truly understand it. And again, about being authentic, what was funny was on my last post, because it was like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5 of the actual retreat. My retreat coordinator who set everything up, Heather, I was like, shout out to Heather, da 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 da, like was like the last thing I put in the comments. And Heather said, I love, because she obviously is looking at my content because, I paid her. So she goes, I love how each day of the retreat on your recap, your smile gets bigger. And I didn't notice it. I didn't notice that, and I also wasn't doing it on purpose. But apparently, I have a Kool-Aid smile on the last day, and on the first day, I'm like, "We just got here, but you have to understand, we literally just got there, so it's like 8 hours of travel." So I'm like pushing through on that first content piece, right? But on the last ones, apparently, I'm just like overjoyed. I'm fired up. We just did all these ice baths and meditation bowls and cacao ceremonies, and we just watched some Costa Rican dancers. Like we just had a bunch of cool stuff happen, and I was just like filled up, and that shows up on your social. So like being authentic adds a ton of value because people will sometimes really just attach themselves to the progression. They'll attach themselves to the authenticity. They'll attach themselves to the fact that like you're not always looking like AI, because you don't look the same every time. You don't sound the same every time. So I'm in the firm belief that our brands are going to be exponentially more important as time goes on because artificial intelligence can't copy a human in the sense of it like having true humanity. It can't be authentic. All it can be is what you tell it to be, right? All it can do is copy a version of you. And people can tell. Like, I mean, I don't know if in the future people won't be able to tell as much, but people can still tell now. And I think what's going to differentiate you from someone who like is really good with AI or using a whole bunch of faceless content is just you being you because you can't be replicated truly, authentically. So I've decided to invest more energy, time, and money into it simply because I'm not as eager to get in the AI race and go down that rabbit hole. So I'd rather get into the race of going internally and digging more deep into myself and being more of me out loud without fear. Then I'm excited about trying to compete with the next Claude tool or the next Perplexity tool or just trying to figure that out because that's going to be so fast and so intense. But I can just go with the speed of me and be cool with that. So those are my thoughts about outsourcing, but being yourself and, comments based off of what I heard from other people. So those are my thoughts about content and outsourcing.
I love all of that. I actually wrote a bunch of things down. One, I've been reading some articles about like the kids these days. Ugh, I'm so old. Boycotting AI. Like there's a movement boycotting AI, and I think that that should not be overlooked. Um, because first of all, like replacing jobs and kids graduating from college and not having jobs, but also like losing the human element. I've been all over AI. Like I've used chat, I use Gemini, but when it comes to content creation, like hell no, get it away. Like do not use it to replicate your story, your voice, your brand, anything. Keep it out of there. Um, so I just think keep an eye on that situation and maybe keep it at an arm's distance. I also think, so I'm not on LinkedIn. I still have a profile. I did delete it off my phone. I have had zero success, engagement, any of it on LinkedIn. And I think it's just, and I'm saying this only because I think that different platforms are better for different people and for different audiences. And I don't think that my voice and my message was like really gonna get out there on LinkedIn. I'm not that polished professional, so I'm a little bit rougher. And I tried some things and I tried posting pictures with words. It just didn't work. But I just discovered Threads. Aquila, you might actually like Threads too, because it's all text. And I mean, I haven't converted any sales, but I'm really enjoying the community there. It's engaging, it's conversational, it's deeper. It's not surface level because you're not just looking at an image and scrolling past. Like you're actually reading what people have to say and their thoughts. Um, and I also wanted to say regarding Elijah, like imagining your wife filming you, you were able to show up as a host exponentially better because you weren't concerning yourself with content. And while generating content, like on the other hand, how much better of a host you are on the content because you're actually showing up as a host and not as a content creator. And if you're thinking of it that way, I think that's like a really interesting perspective. Like, welcome to my page. This is who I am, how I feel, and like how, like you're curating a space like we do in our groups like this. And I think there's some merit to that and it ought to be explored a little bit more. Um, and a great anytime I think of hosting, I think of Setting the Table, a book by Danny Meyer, and it's about like anticipating the needs of your guest. And a guest can just be a client or a customer. It's really just being one step ahead, so they never really have to ask for anything from you. You already know what they're looking for. The last thing I wanted to say was Kenny, working with you on the website and the funnel, not only were you supportive, like emotionally with me, and you were very gentle, and you were like, I'm really sorry, but you got to do it again. And you were like very patient with me. You also like gave me tools, and I don't just mean like showing up and talking. I mean, like, actually, like a teleprompter app. Like, try that out. Here's a script. Use a script. Use it. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't just have to like stumble over, like, or like look at my computer and read, like, actual tools. Actual tools. So you gave me like the teleprompter gift. Um, but also like going back to the web tracking, like I have a tool now where I can see what my socials are doing for my website where I was never doing that before. I know. What? Who am I? Just it's like it's and I have, my role in my business because of the marketing and the need for marketing in this new era, my role has changed a little bit. And I put this in the chat above, but a few months ago, showing up for my content was exhausting me. I didn't want to do it. And I was like, I'm just going to resort to newspaper ads. I don't care. I'm done with this bullshit. But now that I'm showing up more authentically, I'm creating like the videos of my trip to Italy, and I've got like a video coming out of my side-by-side rides last weekend. Like, I'm enjoying making that stuff, and I feel really proud of the content that I'm putting together, the videos that I'm putting together, and I'm inspired to make more. And I don't want to run and hide and go to bed and avoid it. It's really interesting how that shift has occurred. So, thank you guys. Nate.
To Elijah's perfect example, he gave his wife, right? Because he's terrible at content, his wife's not, right? So, and then to Aquila, since you used the basketball reference earlier in terms of being a GOAT, I think business is like a sport, right? If you've been on these calls before, I like to talk about sports a lot when it comes to business. You don't have to shake your head that hard, Kenny. I mix it up sometimes. Um, but I feel like business is like a sport. And what Aquila said was every goat needs a goat, but every goat also needs people on the team that takes the responsibility away from them. And if you look at business from that standpoint, right? If I'm MJ and I'm trying to get to the room and I don't got no shooters in the corner, everybody just gonna clog the paint, right? It makes it now I have to do a lot more. Now it's more taxing, it leads to injuries, it leads to a lot of stuff. But if I got shooters that specialize in something, right? If business sense, if I got somebody like Kenny that's great at sports, Gary that's great at wealth management, Abigail that's great at account, like all these things, then the responsibility is less on me and I can just be great at what I'm great at, right? So when you look at business and you're talking about getting somebody that outsourcing, right? When you're talking about outsourcing, just look at business like a sport, right? I don't need to do everything, right? I don't need to be a shooter, bring up the ball, play defense, get the rebound. No, we're going to end up losing, right? And to say that is your business is going to end up losing somewhere, right? Because you can't be great at everything at the same time, right? No matter what you heard. And to speak to Abigail's point, great job again. I'm glad, Kenny, you told her about the teleprompter. Abigail, you're growing up. I'm proud of you. I don't know, I don't know what you've been doing lately, but actually, Old Woods Business Service makes sense. Makes sense. Abigail is low key a caveman. Not a cavewoman, caveman.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Facts.
Abigail. Also, you still you gotta give my pitch. I have to grade you on it.
Oh God. Oh, you didn't even go. I skipped you.
Oh no, no, you're going. Remember, you're going, and then me, Kenny,
If
and
you want to
Gary.
be a legend, work with Nate.
Yeah,
That's all I got.
I'll give it an 82. I'll give it an 82.
What's up, everybody? I'm Nate Dubois. I am the founder of Legend Initiative. If you want to be a legend in your industry, we're the people you work with. Mic drop.
14 out of 10.
Brilliant. Can
Actually,
I just
he,
quickly
he hit
jump
that
in?
what's up greatly.
Yes, Aquila.
What time does this meeting wrap? Because this is
Like
such a rich
nowish.
conversation, and I've got to leave at 5, but I want to say a couple things before I do.
Okay, okay. Well, Kenny and Elijah, you're getting skipped for a second. Okay.
So, one, I want to thank everybody because um, I've been in a lot of rooms and I've had a lot of conversations not me personally, but been in spaces with conversations about this. Nobody talks about it like this. I haven't been in a room that talks about it like this, where it comes from the place of authenticity, who the person is. Most people talk about the techniques, and I'm sure all of that is right. Part of it, it's what you do, but everybody talks about what everybody else is doing, right? And how to do that somehow differently. But nobody talks about the source of it all. And that's what this conversation has been about. It's been about who are you? How do you represent yourself? How do you want yourself represented? And aligning yourself with the person who does that. I also wanted to bring, so I want to thank you for that. I'm leaving with so much information and almost feeling like I have so much brilliance to choose from. I don't know what direction to go in. So it's crazy. And I love that. I love that. Gary, I do want to take you up on your offer and have a conversation. I love what you said about the different stages and having someone at the stage where you were at to carry you to the next stage, to carry you to the next stage. I think that's important and it was very resonant for me. And then, Nate, I just want to say we're speaking the same language. When I say GOAT, is your accountant needs to be the GOAT, your coach needs to be the GOAT, your marketing person needs to. All I'm saying is choose the best of the best that you need at that point right now to support you in your business. So we are speaking the same language. I do want to have, in closing, I do want to have, I already know, based on what's been said here, that I want to talk to both Kenny and Nate. I'd be crazy not to have a conversation with the two of you. So I don't know how to make that happen. I'm going to save the chat before I jump off. If there's a way to connect, I definitely want to do that. Abigail, blessings to you for just hosting something that is so incredibly valuable and different and tangible and real when it comes to marketing. This is the conversation that a lot of people aren't having. So I just want to acknowledge that and say that this has been a great opportunity to just be in this room. I was expecting another networking group with, the same old questions and the same old people and the same old conversations. This has been different. Thank you so much.
Thank
Aquila,
you.
throw an email or a LinkedIn or something in the chat so we can reach out to you.
Yeah, and Nate's got his, and Kenny, if you scroll up, usually has a one-on-one calendar link too.
Yeah.
We do just before you go, we are at the same Zoom link every week, Thursday, same time, same place. Next month, so next week, how did I put that earlier? Gary, setbacks to step backs to step ups. So like when you hit an obstacle, how you use that to launch further ahead. That'll be June. You're muted.
These are weekly or monthly?
Weekly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
We just have too much fun.
Yeah, obviously. Y'all a family. I can tell. It's like y'all know each other. It's awesome. Okay, guys, I gotta jump. Here's my LinkedIn, and I'll see you guys again for sure. Thank you for
Nice.
everything.
Yes. All right, Kenny.
Yeah, that was great. I'm not gonna lie. Aquila, she definitely seems like a cool person. I do want to hear more about what she was talking about, like how she presents this idea to her clients and how she, um, how would say introduces them to like her brand voice, right? As a coach, right, on the spiritual journey, all of that stuff. Um, and I was just thinking about a quote while she was speaking, because I know I like to pull a weekly quote, from some well-known person, but I think I just thought of one like on the spot. And it kind of has to do with Nate's note, right, about how we shape perception. So the perception that we create in front of people, right, in the public eye, I feel like has to be the most truest self that we can, that we can present to the public. And when we do that, after that, it's a matter of commitment, right? Like without commitment, you'll never start, and without consistency, you'll never finish. Right. So once you're on that journey of, gaining that visibility, just keep at it. Keep hammering the nail.
Kenny, are you gonna quote yourself tonight?
Yeah, that was my quote for the week.
Like, oh my God, Elijah.
Well, I had a completely different mindset of what I was going to share, and I definitely shouldn't be going last. But I was going to say, when it comes to um, delegating, I think one thing that is not always thought about is finding alignment with the person you're delegating to. So I went through tons of people who were like, you need to post other people's content, or you need to post funny stuff, or you need to do this, or you need to change your offer. You need to change the way you do your business. You need to sell $5 ticket items. Like just all these things that just didn't feel right in my gut. And that for a long time stopped me from like utilizing other people. But I think that if you feel that sense when you're like talking to someone, you shouldn't stop looking for people. You should just look for people that are in alignment with your gut. Your gut is right. Like it's okay to go with your gut. It's okay to go with your intuition. So I wasn't comfortable working with a DM person until I found one that actually did cold calling and cold sales because I know what it takes to do that. And he spent like 15 years in that. And I was like, you're my guy. You get it. You understand getting results. You know what I'm going for. I wasn't comfortable with using someone for posting my social media stuff at all unless they could understand my voice and my culture. So they had to like be in my program, know my program. So that's why I'm using people that work with me, work for me, or my wife, you know? But every time I've had, and like, there's another person that's actually going to help me with getting on stages. That it's more of a partnership. They're going to help me get on stages, but I didn't they were going to work with me as like a trade-off on services, and they were working with me at the beginning, but then what ended up happening was my services worked for her. She got a bunch of funding, and then she was like, you know what, now that I understand your business and what you do, I want to scrap everything that I thought of before, and what you really are is a business credit architect. And she like just gave me all this other stuff that like I never thought of that was like really ingenious, you know, with her mind and my sort and my stuff. So sometimes you can just give away free service to someone that's in marketing, and then when they come out the other end, they might understand your business so much better and your personality to the point where they'll help you create something special, which I didn't think would happen. And I'm really optimistic about the work that Tori's going to do with us because of that. So, above all, go with your gut, but just don't stop. Just keep on finding people and keep going with your gut. Find people in alignment.
I agree with that big time. Nate,
The last thing I'm gonna say is kind of what Abigail hinted at earlier last time she spoke, which was make content that you like making. I feel like sometimes we get too bogged down with the technicality of everything. Me and Katie knows like the tech side is important, right? The technical side is important, just like playing sports, basketball, right? I only said basketball like 3 times. Uh, but it's the technical side. Everybody knows the technical, the fundamentals, right? That's needed. But where you get a competitive edge is when you make stuff that's fun, right? When you create stuff that's fun for you, fun for your audience. Like just make content that you like making. And then other people might like making it, right? Well, like viewing it. And then you just keep making more of the same. And then that's how you build your audience. You build your tribe. Just focus on what you like making.
Kenny.
That's dope. I'll keep mine short. But bouncing off of Nate, I think that's absolutely true. You know what I mean? And in terms of, sports, right? Athletes are always thinking about the fans, right? The fan base, no matter what team they're playing for, it's like, damn, are they gonna love us? Did we lose? Did we lose in the finals? How's that gonna affect, when we get back to Baltimore, Um, so with that in mind, I think it's really, really important to keep in mind your audience, right? And what kind of experience do you want them to have, right? Because in tech, funny thing is you're not thinking about how to program, how to code. You're thinking about what is the user experience going to be like, right? What is somebody going to feel? What is somebody going to think when they're scrolling through your website, looking at your Instagram, looking at any one of your handles, right? And then you work backwards from there, right? So think about the customer, the user experience first, and then you work out all the technical stuff later on, right? So yeah. And I think it's better to work that way because as human beings, we're emotional beings first before we're, analytical beings. That's my 2 cents.
Well said, Kenny. And I commented this being a host, hosting. You're hosting a guest on your page. You're hosting guests in a group. You're hosting. And people, it's about them when you host. It's about them. It's not about you. It's about their experience there. Kenny, you want to share a quote with us?
No, I already said my piece. That little
All
thing
right.
about,
Yeah.
without commitment, you'll never start. Without consistency, you'll never finish. That was my piece.
Yes, it sure was. Well done. Okay. I don't know if you all saw these are all on YouTube now. They're getting some views out there. Just FYI. I'll drop the YouTube link in the chat later. Um, join the thank you for sharing your links too. You didn't get a chance to introduce yourself, Elijah. Um, I forget what I was saying. I don't know. Same place, same time next week. As always, this was a great one. Next week, next month, Gary, it's not for you, it's for all of us, but you inspired it. So step
It
backs to step
works. It
ups. Yeah.
works. All right.
Setbacks to set ups. Those are the words. Okay. All right, guys.
All right, guys. Have a great night.
All right, bye. Thank y'all.
All right,
Bye.
everybody who
Nice meeting
joined,
you.
thank you guys
Yeah.
so much, and hope to see some of y'all next week.
Yeah.
See you next
I do
week.
have a question. You
Okay.
did mention the accelerator program. I was definitely interested in that. I didn't
Yeah.
see a link for that.
It's right here.
Okay.
All right, cool. Yeah, feel free to check that out. I don't know if Abigail has yeah, you're probably gonna send the website link, right? So,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
the
not to brag or anything, but my team, did design it. But no,
and helped
Abigail,
me. It's
yeah,
businesskickstartaccelerator.co. Uh,
Okay.
and I didn't drop my Instagram, but it's the same Instagram, Business Kickstart Accelerator too. And I'm
yeah. But as far as,
all my good stuff there.
Abigail's ability, I wouldn't recommend anybody better. If you're a startup entrepreneur looking to get a handle on things, especially financially, she's my go-to person and my go-to friend, you know.
Link doesn't work.
Kenny,
Maybe it's spelt wrong.
it might
It
be.
might be spelled wrong.
Numbers are my thing.
Is it
Business,
starter?
BUSINESS, Kickstart Accelerator.
Okay. I'm gonna try the link now just to double check that.
I also just hand typed that, so I
Okay,
might have gotten
yes.
it wrong, to be honest with you. Business, is it
Yeah, I got it. I got it. I'll go to
Kenny? Get out here, I'm horrible. How am I
Okay,
ever gonna sell
It's
my
all right.
offer?
I got you. I'll send you guys the link.
Thebusinessaccelerator.co.
Oh, by the
Yep.
way, guys, the Acquisitions Academy podcast launched, so you guys can check it out. We have 4 episodes up. We've already finished 20 episodes, but 4 have actually already been posted on YouTube. So
That's dope. Yeah, I'll check that out, man, for
for
sure.
sure, for sure, it's on all platforms. But
Are
you can
you
check it out.
on the podcast, the Apple Podcasts?
Yeah, yep, we're everywhere you can find podcasts. We have a production team that puts it out everywhere.
All
What's
right,
it called?
cool.
Acquisitions Academy podcast.
Acquisitions Academy. I'll make a note of that. And you guys are on what day?
Well, we just are putting out like 8 episodes a month. We already have 20 episodes done. We're not like on a specific day. We just whenever.
All right, cool, cool. I'll check it out, bro, for sure.
Yeah.
And Ariana, the link to the Business Kickstart Accelerator is down in the chat.
yeah, it just pulled up
businessaccelerator.com.
now.
That's it.
I do
Thank
have another
you.
question about the accelerator. So how does it work? Do you meet like virtually like a couple times out the month? Like how does it work?
I meet weekly. Actually, Thursday mornings are my community time. So there's weekly community co-working.
Mhm.
Um, and then there's monthly masterclass, monthly yoga, monthly um, expert interviews. Those are dropping like once a week, basically. So there's once a week drop and then the live check-ins.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's like an update on like where you are like with your business journey, or is it just more like
Yeah, but
certain videos?
also the
Okay.
goal is like, yes, update, accountability. If you're struggling to get through something, that's the time to work it out together and, work as a community through stuff like that.
Okay. And do you have like a business email that I can like email you about if I have like any more
Yep.
questions about it?
Abigail at oldwoods.co. I just sent that in the chat too.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, because I know the meeting's about over, but I definitely want to talk more like about that. I
Yeah.
definitely want to like set up like a time outside of this as well.
You know what? I dropped above and I'll do it again, my
Okay.
one-on-one call link.
Okay.
Um, take advantage of that. Let's chat.
Okay, perfect. I'll definitely write this down. But this
Yeah.
was definitely a great session. I definitely appreciate you guys.
Thanks. Yeah, it was very nice
Absolutely.
meeting you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you, Ariana.
And likewise, y'all have a good day.
You
You too.
too. See you
Okay.
next week, hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Elijah,
All right, guys. I'm gonna jump off too.
you're
I'll see you guys next week.
exploding with positive vibes right now.
Yeah.
Kenny, good night. So
Yeah.
glad to have you.
Thanks. Yeah, I missed coming here. It's been a couple of months or
I
weeks or
know.
something,
You were
but
missed.
yeah, I'm glad to be back. I mean, I was really locked in because I was so anal about making this retreat great. And I think we did, we got testimonials while we were there. People were fired up. We sold like $40,000 worth of product while we were there. We had people who were signed up for our next retreat already. And I'm doing retreat follow-up calls and people are talking about how they're using their mind movies because we created mind movies for them while we were there. I literally had their mind movie playing while I was doing my one-on-ones with them when I was there with them because it was made so fast by my team, which was awesome. And the retreat resort was ridiculous. We had 10 people on staff waiting on us hand and foot. So, like, I didn't need to do anything for anyone. And every room had an ocean view. There were monkeys, there were sloths, there were toucans, there were iguanas. Literally, there was a monkey that I have a video of a monkey like hopping on the balcony and like opening this little ledge and grabbing a muffin out of the ledge and then throwing it down and then running away and then eating it. It was so cool, you know?
Oh my God, I have to tell you. So, I was in Italy.
Yeah.
I was in Rome just because you had a monkey experience. I'm sitting at a cafe drinking a cappuccino at the Colosseum, and a bird, I should post this, came and ate an aperitivo, like a little snack, a little Italian snack, right out of my hand. Like
Wow.
this little tiny bird. It
That's
just flew.
magical.
Oh my God.
That's
That's
magical.
alignment.
That is alignment.
High vibrational alignment when nature comes to you like that.
Oh, you have no idea. So we have this video. We did this cacao ceremony right on the beach, and we're like lined up on both sides. We have like a fire because we're gonna like burn our limiting beliefs, and there's like a Venus gong, so it's like gonging and stuff. Like while we're doing it, because they made a fruit platter, that might be the reason. But there was literally a family of monkeys hanging out like behind us, like with the baby on the back, like seven. Like I shit you not, and they're like running over, and it was just like, and everyone's trying to meditate with all these monkeys like jumping on trees right above them because we're trying to be in the shade, and it was vibes like all over, and they did ATVs, which was super cool. Like they did their own excursions without me. People got massages. Like we made it enough free time. One thing I'll tell you for sure, when you do your next retreat, one really cool hack is to have everyone use this app called Pick Circle. You probably have heard of it before. It's an app where people can take pictures and it's all saved in the same place. So I bought them this chartered plane to fly them from the airport over to the resort because I didn't want to have them subjected to a 3.5 hour ride prior to getting there because I just felt like that would have kind of muddied the experience. So I had them come the night before, rent a place somewhere else. We had someone pick up their bags if they all stayed at that same place, drive the bags over so their bags were in their room, but they took a chartered plane. So I said, hey guys, this is Pick Circle. We have like a retreat website where they could download it. And it was like, hey, download Pick Circle, take pictures. So I didn't go on the plane, right? But they all have pictures and videos of the plane. They have pictures and videos of like iguanas and snakes and sloths. There's 247 pictures in there from 9 people aside from me and my wife. There's only 11 of us were there. and talk about content tools, like yeah, yeah. So like that's a nice little hack. So that way you have tons of content done for you by the people there
Yes.
that you can use and mix up and edit and create reels or create whatever. Like so it was an idea for my
Such a great
retreat.
idea.
And yeah, so I know you
I've
do.
used
Yeah.
shared albums on Apple Photos
Mhm.
um with the couple of big trips that I did with groups, but like I've had to clear out my Apple Photos because of all the photos I take on,
Yeah.
content, everything. So when I move those to my external backup, they leave the shared albums.
Mhm.
So the shared albums are getting smaller over the years as the years have passed. So that's a great tool.
Yeah, PickCircle is like it's a cloud thing and it was
Yeah.
free. We didn't
Yeah.
pay anything. So yeah.
Oh my God, amazing.
Yeah, yeah. It was cool. I wish I could tell you everything, but like we had like really cool booklets and we
Your
just
emails that were coming out too while you were there,
yeah,
like that was awesome.
yeah. My tech team was working on it, so I just used
Yeah, the ripple
everything.
effect was real.
Yeah, cool, cool. I'm glad it was well received. So,
Yeah.
people are fired up about the next one already, which is cool. And then the guy that I had hosting, not hosting, but one of the speakers, because I paid monies to other people for like
Hmm.
the M&A team I partnered with, the podcast team I partnered with, and they are now giving me ideas to get my next retreat filled. They're like, hey, for your next retreat, and I was like, this is cool. Like I'm getting supported with Phil. Like my first, like the last retreat, it felt like I was on a hill, like, I promise you it's gonna be great. Check it out. Like you should come.
Yeah.
And it was like me alone, like cheering it on. Now I have like the guys like, hey, this is what we should do. Because I have a retreat reunion, thanks to you. So I have a retreat reunion that's already scheduled, right? And people are fired up about it, and I'm able to anchor their goals to the reunion, because they're like have their 90-day plan and stuff. They're like, hey, what type of wins do you want to share at the reunion? So like they're all fired up. But he's going to be like talking and be like, hey, I got this. He has this tool called the warm method, which is about like getting referrals and using a flywheel to continue to get referrals from people. He's going to teach it, and then he's going to use it on them to get me leads for my next retreat, and I'm going to have like all these like really warm leads that I'm going to be able to talk to and close for our Arizona retreat in October and our Costa Rica retreat next year. And it's like all of that, I think, is just a lot of synchro destiny, a lot of alignment, a lot of good energy, and obviously some hard work. But yeah,
Yeah, but it's the momentum and the consistently showing up.
yeah,
That's incredible.
yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. I'm also a little jealous. I'm so
Good.
happy for you. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was cool. It was super cool. So yeah, yeah. I think you would enjoy it if you came to one.
I know. I know. Oh
And I made it a dry event too, which was cool. So
my God. Oh, yes.
yeah, so I made it a dry event, and but I found out some people snuck some alcohol, so they're not getting invited to the next one. But but it's
Okay.
good because it's like an interview, because I'm interviewing them to see if I wanted these people in my inner circle, which is more of like a 60K ticket and way more commitment to them and way more commitment from me. And my wife was like, you got to choose who you're going to pour into at a high level. And I was like, great point. And I was like, I'm going to use these retreats like mini interviews, because they are like doing deals with each other, they're doing business with each other. And it's like, the AI person has like an AI client from there, the accountant has like three clients from there, so I'm like, okay, you got to understand everything's an interview, right? So I'm telling you that you don't have to dress up and you can be yourself, but I'm telling you to be your best self, for a reason,
Right.
for you and for them. I was like, if you can't
Oh my
spend
God.
5 days in wellness and growth and development and you feel the need to drink, I told him I'm there for you and you might have an issue, but you deserve to overcome that issue. So just come to me and talk to me. And if it needs to happen, you need that like itch, then we'll talk about when you can go scratch that itch. But the fact that they like went behind my back and was hiding it, I didn't take offense, but I felt really like a disappointed dad. And I was like, that's too bad that you didn't feel comfortable enough to like just come to me. And I feel bad for what's going on with you
Yeah.
that you feel the need to do that. Like this isn't high
If you
school.
don't feel comfortable being open and honest about it, why are you doing it? I mean, that's surface level, but like spiritually speaking,
Yeah.
I'm sober. It'll be it's 9.5 years, give or
Nice.
take a month or two.
Yeah.
Um, it's called spirits for a reason.
Yeah, it brings in bad ones. And I was
And
just like,
yeah, it
and I'm
does bring in bad ones. It
yeah,
does.
and I'm thinking to myself too. I'm like, part of me saying that is also because I want to make it a safe space because I don't want someone to come and say, "Oh, I have an issue," and I don't like being around it. I'd rather just have it not around, so that way it's a safe space for anyone and everyone, you know. And
Yeah.
if you're not in alignment with that, and you think like, "Oh, but what's the big deal?" It's like then you really aren't thinking about like even just meditation gets fucked up when you're drunk. Like even like all like we did an ice bath
All
and
of
then you
it.
drank later. Like this, like it doesn't
Yeah.
even make sense. You're undoing everything we're doing, you
Yeah.
know?
It's a
So,
lot of misalignment.
yeah,
One of the first trips that I did with a group of women was to Egypt. And
hmm
I'm not, my sobriety isn't volatile. I'll put it
yeah,
that way. It's got a
sure,
strong foundation. I don't care about what other people do with their
yeah,
choices.
yeah,
Um, but I didn't know anything about Egypt. But I did say, preferably like if I'm gonna be, sharing a room with someone, like I would prefer them not to be a drinker, but it's not a big deal.
yeah,
And that trip just so happened to be alcohol is against the law in Egypt. So there is
yeah.
no sneaking it or you'll lose an arm or something, who knows. But um so that immediately was like alignment for me, but
That's cool.
yeah, I I agree so vehemently. Alcohol doesn't bring good things. It just doesn't. It just
Yes,
doesn't.
yeah, not at all.
That's so cool though. That is just so cool though.
Yeah, and oh, this is the other cool part. So I would wake up at 5 a.m. do my miracle morning. They had a gym in that place. They also had an elevator because we had like a 7-year-old and it was super cool. Like it all worked out. But like, after I would do that like daily thing, I would go and record the video of the talk I was giving that day. Like my 5 levels of leadership talk, my abundance activation talk, like my like whatever talk. So that way we could actually edit it and create a course that we can sell after. So we have all the content set up.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna try and get that out by next week. But
There is so much, obviously there's a lot of courses available out there, but it's like way beyond that. It's creating like a digital asset vault that
mhm,
isn't something that people are thinking enough about other than maybe your, digital course creators. But
mhm,
like I am, I've started recording all of these meetings because every time there's just like so much goodness in them. And
yeah.
if I miss the recording, I'm like, damn it, somebody could be getting something out of that, A, but it started getting me thinking like all of my video calls need to be recorded. I
Mhm.
need to start recording conversations, like
Oh,
I'm uploading expert interviews in the membership
we
and
gave. We just I bought this for the people who bought my 20K product, and I got one for myself. This is a note taker that you can use in conversation, and it's an AI note taker. And you can magnetize it with this little thing right here to the back of
oh,
your phone. It's called Plod. It's like $180. You can get it on Amazon, right? You can magnetize it on the back of your phone. And if your phone's like on speakerphone or you're talking, it can record it. And I did that because they're getting 90 days of high performance coaching calls with me with that package. And I want them to be able to take notes without having to write if they don't want to. Same with me. So, just to your point about like notes on everything. And I've been thinking the same way because even when they're at the event, they're taking notes like, but what if they had their AI recorder right there, So I made that a little special giveaway, which is pretty dope.
I love that.
Mhm. Yeah.
I love that. It's really interesting to me too, because I think everybody that shows up on these meetings is, for the most part, 90% of us are um service providers, and it's really like our brains and our experience and our like intellect that we're selling,
Yeah.
or that our gift is, whatever it is, so people are learning from us. There's a lot to unpack there. There's a
hmm
lot to unpack there.
hmm
Um, Gosh, I don't even know where to start. The note taker. Yeah. I do like taking physical notes though. I'm a
Oh,
dork and I love
that's
my
something for your
practicing
brain
my
for sure.
handwriting.
Yeah, I definitely do. I take physical notes for sure, especially when I'm doing some like deep work, like working on my business or working on like my triggers or working on like my manifestations. Like, I know we talked about manifestation, babe. I went from there and I started using TBM, to be magnetic. You probably have heard of that too.
No,
Um, you will love it. You would
I feel like
friggin'
you may have actually mentioned it.
no, I haven't because I
You
just started
haven't?
it. No, I just started it like 2 months ago, and I got to tell you, it's changed everything. It is phenomenal. So I like they have these things. She coins it as deep imaginings. They're like um, hypnotic meditations, but she has them placed after journal prompts, and you would have like you have no idea how powerful they are with these simple journal prompts. And also, she does a great job of explaining triggers as gifts to help you unblock. You know how what's her name says like what's coming up is to clear it, but she doesn't really talk about how to clear it. She has like some meditations for it, but like she actually has a plan for how to clear every trigger you have. So now if I like have an issue or like something triggers me, even if it's like me and my wife and like something like bothers me, I don't even like I don't bring it to her because I'm not like, you didn't bother me. Like, I was bothered, and that's something that's going on in me. And this is a gift because once I unblock this, I'm going to be magnetic. So it's so powerful because then I literally just sit down and I'm like, oh, this is a good one. I can't wait to work on this in the morning at 5 a.m. when I do my work. And then, like, I'll go and like journal about what bothered me. I'll try to figure out where my inner child it was connected to. And then I'll do the meditation, and then it's fucking gone. And it's like, it like puffs away like powder. And it's like, and you just keep doing that and you just keep on unblocking, unblocking, unblocking. And she talks about like having enhancers, which are people that like maybe you're jealous of, and how you can take that information and like meditate on it and actually journal on it and have that energy like help you with creating what you want because you're jealous for a good reason, you know? And it's like
Yeah.
all of these like other things when it comes to like taking aligned act, like it is phenomenal. Tons of content, only like 389 a year. Super cheap compared to Catherine stuff. Way, for me at least, way more effective. And also because it's very gender neutral, I think it's more
Yep.
effective for me too. It's not like
Yep.
girly, girly, pink, pink, and
Yep.
what's up, beautiful souls? Like every,
Yeah.
it's like that's cute,
Yeah.
but like, it's not how I talk to myself. So but to be magnetic is super good stuff. I highly recommend it. I think
To be magnetic.
yeah, I think you she has a ton of podcasts, um, and
Oh, I have listened to her podcast. It's been a while since I've listened to this podcast.
get a freaking course, dude. The
Surpassed my
podcast is amazing.
membership for 23 a month. Code
Yeah,
applied at checkout.
yeah, yeah. I just paid
Uh,
for the year.
yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I promise you'll love it.
Interesting. I think Catherine is about to take a hard turn with
Yeah, she seems
her
it.
content and put some new stuff out.
Hmm.
Um, I actually was in Rome with her lead content creator.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean it's been pretty noticeable on her socials, just that she's been a little off since becoming a mom, and she's had a lot of success,
Yeah.
and she had her first kid, and then she got pregnant with her second kid, and you could just tell that she wasn't quite as present in the content generation, and she wasn't really putting anything new out. Um, it was just like getting kind of stale. And earlier this week, she put a really raw reel out talking about how she just went through a dark night of the soul, and basically all of the fame and the money like kind of got to her, and like having the Birkin and the Rolex and needing everything to be like all these things, and she made $35 million, and
Hmm.
it got to her.
Hmm.
And when she felt in her heart that she needed to step back from the business that gave her all of these things, she had serious unworthiness
Mm.
pop up. And she like didn't even want to share this story because her image is like
Mm.
manifestation and
Yeah.
overcoming and attracting,
Yeah.
law of attraction. And that reel went viral.
I mean, to be magnetic is talks literally about that, and it's
Yeah.
called a rut.
Yeah.
And in it, they have a plan for how to get through your ruts. And they talk about how that's a gift too, you know? But so it's really cool because it helps you with this cycle of success and the despair that comes from it and how to get through it quickly. And like Catherine's stuff doesn't really do that. She kind of is like vomiting all of the growth that she's learned. It's like her experience, and she's like, and her process is like do what intuitively feels well, and she kind of is like, if you do it all, you'll have a lot of success. And she's right. To be magnetic is based off of neuroscience and how to actually change your neural pathways. And they have actual
Yeah.
scientists who actually validate the stuff and study the stuff to help it get structured in a way. So it's like super good tool. So
There's an NLP practitioner course that's like $10 that a
wow.
lot of these people take every year. They
Hmm.
re-up their certification on it. That is the science behind the rewiring.
Hmm.
Um, this is a really great. So Gary had a hiccup in his career like twice in the last 6 months. He
Wow.
left MetLife just because they're way too square box and is really struggling to market himself
Hmm.
within their parameters. And then he went to Allegis, and there was some scandal in his Washington office, and it closed.
Wow.
And last week was a really rough week for him, and he was like, I don't know if I can do this anymore.
Mm.
And I'm like, just, keep showing up to the meeting, first of all.
Hmm.
But that's why I want to talk about setbacks to
Oh,
setups, because we've
I
all
got
had
I got
them.
some I got some good stuff for that. I got some
Yeah.
really good stuff for that. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I have some really raw stories about like business and personal, like business when I was working for another company type of stuff, and then business when I was running my company type of stuff. So I like as soon as you said that, I was like, oh, I'm fired up to share that stuff because
Yeah.
people get so much more from your failures than your successes, and I'm just so fired up to share that stuff.
Yeah. And I believe very strongly in the you fall down one rung on the ladder, you climb up two kind of.
Well, I'm a firm believer in words don't teach. So you need these horrible experiences that feel horrible in the moment because the learning always happens after. So
Yeah.
I'll give you one example. I had a foreclosure when I was in my 20s. Maybe I was 20 because that's like when the 2008 crash happened. Best gift ever because I learned how to do owner financing. I learned how to do wholesaling. I learned personal credit repair. I learned business credit. I learned everything I needed to do to access capital outside of using my credit, because of it. Now I have like amazing credit and I help other people get amazing credit. But the best part is I help people with their mindset when they have shame around that stuff because they're like, oh, they don't want to talk about it. Like, oh, my credit, oh, I did this. And I'm like, fuck it. These companies are scams. It's all just an algorithm. None of it's a big deal. It says nothing about your character. Da 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 da. And I can like pour into them. And then if I need to, which I barely ever do, I can even share my story. And it's like it's created so much more value for me. And if I never had that experience, I might have been like, "You're right. Ooh, you are bad." And I'd be like, "What type of coach would I be? Like authentically?" Um, so yeah, and that's just one example. That was like 20. Like I got another 20 years of failures to share. So
Right? That's the thing. That's the thing about Catherine specifically in this moment in time is like she had like her 20-year-old setback, which was really just like a failure to launch
Mhm.
situation. But now that she's gotten all of this, she's lost touch with her audience. But now that she's had like this crash, she's more approachable. She's more
Mhm.
relatable for one, and it's going to only propel her even further in the future. So like watching her, yeah, we've all got those stories though. We've all got those stories. 2020 was a rough year for me. I did
Mhm.
well business wise, but it
Mhm.
kind of went down, my personal life. I went through hell. I went
Mhm.
through hell. I was in an extremely abusive relationship.
Mhm.
Um, Extremely. I call it so I'm sober. I use
Yeah.
air quotes like my sobriety. I'm only like 18 months sober from this person that I was addicted to.
Yeah.
Um, and I can already see the massive shifts that have happened where
Mhm.
I'm like in that pre-rocket ship, you know, because these things set you back, but it's all for a reason. It's you have to have faith. You
Yep.
have to have faith. And you
Yep.
have to be able to see the silver lining in order to learn and to grow from it.
Yep.
My sister's going through something personally as well, and she's like, I'm not going to survive this. I'm like, you're going to survive this.
Hmm.
This isn't going to kill you.
Hmm.
You might want not wish that. You might wish it would, but
Yep.
it's not going to.
Yep.
And whatever it is that you're going through right now is the foundation for what you're meant to be doing down the road.
Hmm.
So, but don't even worry about that right now. Just worry about surviving it, worry about putting one foot in front of the other, getting through it, and then the lesson will be clear. The
Yeah, and
propulsion will
and
be
it's
clear.
so powerful when you take away the external portion of it and reflect on the internal portion of it. And what I mean by that is like every time you gain strength, it's from pain. Every
Mhm.
time you build character, it's from something negative. Every book you read that's a biography is full of shitty stuff that happened to the person. Otherwise, it's a boring book. So your book needs tragedy for you to be the hero. Like you need things that suck and that are fearful for you to have courage and be the hero. Like it needs to be a 5 year drought for for you to be that overnight success that's amazing. Like you have to have that Hermosi story, right? And it's like and you want to cherish it. Like you want to be like, oh, this is so cool because when this happens, I'm gonna be able to tell such an amazing story, which was what I was telling myself when I had the foreclosure. I literally, this is before everyone knew Trump, like hated Trump, but I was like, Trump went bankrupt 8 times, or whatever. And I was like, this is my foreclosure. This is my first failure. I'm fired up about this. Like, I was like, and I went and ran an office, for a company and like in complete confidence just because I was like, this is going to be part of my hero story. So, yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree that pain is one of the best teachers because our brain only remembers things that are emotionally jarring. So if we don't have things that are emotionally jarring, we just kind of forget about it and we don't really learn because words don't teach. So we need something
Mhm.
to be painful or extremely pleasurable to have a memory. And these painful moments that last and stick, they're the best learning lessons we ever have. So yeah, yeah, I agree. It's great stuff.
Knowing that going through what I went through in my relationship, knowing I had taken the MB course before, like it
Oh,
really,
good.
really, and I had ridden. It's like my bedtime. It's past my bedtime, ridden. When I first got sober, I read The Secret, and it was
Mhm.
really what pushed me into being successfully sober. I
Mhm.
didn't go through any programs or anything like that.
Mhm.
Manifested it. I
Mhm.
used the right language. I had the silver lining. I knew that I just had the faith.
Mhm.
And going through the trauma in that relationship, I'm like, and I kept making, I dragged that out. It could have ended so much earlier, and I just couldn't get out of my own fucking way.
Mhm.
But at the end of it, knock on wood, I'm at the end of it. I knew I just had undeniable faith that this was going to be the foundation for what was going to set me off down the road. And
Mhm.
so it literally saved my life
That's cool.
because I was like, I know I'm going to get through this and I know that this is going to be a gift in the end.
Mm.
Like, how am I going to be able to show up for others with what I've learned? And that in and of itself is a gift not everybody has.
Mhm.
And I guess if that's all I could ever share, it would
Mhm.
be to keep your eyes on the silver lining because there's something always in it. There's
100%.
always something there.
All right, champ. I'm gonna let you rock and roll and get to bed.
All
Thanks.
right, champ. Yeah, that was a great win.
I love that. So I love
All
that.
right,
So I'll let you
let's,
go, but if you need
yeah,
me, let me know. I'll talk to you
yeah,
soon.
for sure. Awesome. All right. Good night, Elijah.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.